Alright guys, my 10 most favorite poker trips of my career. I will go from my number 10 to my number 1. And my number 10 was a trip a long time ago to Johannesburg, actually. I did it with a good friend in 2013, one of my earlier casino trips, and I actually really liked it. I think the setting of the casino and the games was pretty cool. I'm not sure how much I would like it today, but we had a lot of fun. We grinded a lot on the few days that we were there. I mean, the games were incredible, and there was a tournament running there at that time as well. Yeah, if you maybe play between 200 and 1,000 euros buy-ins, I think that's a good spot to check out, and then explore more of South Africa. Maybe a less known, but that was a cool trip. My number 9, I would say, was Monte Carlo. I really like and always have liked the EPT at Monte Carlo. Was one of my earlier trips as well. I won a package for the main, the 10K main. That was a really cool trip. One moment I will never forget is it was sunshine outside, and in this one room they can take off the roof. So we were playing inside, then they take off the roof. You know, this electronic, it just goes off, and then you have the sun shining on the tables. You basically play in the free. That was incredible. I also played some really incredible high stakes games there a few years later. I've always great memories of Monte Carlo. The surrounding is so-so, like there's not so much to do, but there's also Formula 1 right after. So if you're into this, that's a really cool trip to combine. So in terms of poker, great games, really nice venue. I always like Monte Carlo. My number 8 is Cyprus. There's a few things about Cyprus that I think are great. There's not so much, I mean, there's basically nothing to do around, or very little to do around, but the resort is, I think, decent value for money, and the games are really, really good, especially the tournaments. I went there the first time, I think in 2014, maybe even 13 already. Always been incredible 5Ks, 3Ks, 2Ks, so especially for that range between 500 and 5,000, incredible games. Big guarantees, weak players. It's sunny, so especially in October, November, it's a great destination. And recently they have expanded and built even more. TRITON has done an event there, and that was incredible too. I mean, there's not a great deal to do on off days, but I really loved it to just go outside. You have breakfast, it's late in the year already, then you go play poker. It was just a really cool experience for me. I really enjoyed it. Definitely rose up in my list again, and I will go back there again for EPT, I'm pretty sure. So if you don't have plans for EPT Cyprus yet, I think that's going to be an incredible stop with lots of people from Central Asia coming. It's going to be a good poker stop. My number 7, I would say, is Vegas. I've done countless and countless trips to Vegas, and I have kind of I wouldn't say hate, but almost a love-hate relationship, because I really don't like the city that much. I don't like the vibe, especially on the Strip. I think not too many people do, or at least I never really like this very consumption-oriented vibe. It's like, especially when I walk to a poker tournament, it just doesn't feel like a very cozy or comfortable city, or where I feel super at home. So that's on the one side, but then on the other side it's Vegas. It's the biggest games, WSOP, I mean, crazy tournaments. Also the city where I had the most success in my poker career. There is a connection, and I just go there to play poker, but every time I feel after 14 days, I'm just, okay, this is too much. I have to consume it in the right volume, and that's what I would suggest, to take days off. Like, don't just go there and grind for 6 weeks. I think that's a mistake that some people make when they go there for the first time or plan to go. Best games, or some of the best games in the world, definitely some of the biggest prize pools in the world. WSOP is fantastic in terms of value. I would suggest to plan your trip accordingly and be there with friends. That's a very, very important thing, so you have some socializing as well. Hopefully you run good, then the experience is incredible. My number 6, that's a more hidden one, especially for non-Austrian or non-Germans, is Seefeld. So Seefeld is in Austria, and there's the CAPT, so the Cup. This tournament, I think it's a 2K main event. Maybe they've changed it now, but when I played it, it was a 2K main event, I believe. It's actually really cool because it's a great skiing area. And so people go there, you have a nice cozy casino, but the really cool thing is this mix of skiing and poker. And that's always been, I think, a really cool combination, because you go skiing and then you play some poker at like whatever, 4 p.m. until like 10, 11, 12, and then you go to sleep, and then the next day you can go some skiing over the day, and then you can play. So when you have a day off, it's really easy to do things. It's really nice to be there with friends, have a good time. Definitely one of the really special trips to take, and especially if you're in this mid-stakes live range, I think perfect to go there with friends. I can highly recommend Seefeld as a trip location. Now, as my number 5, that's a particular experience that I've made because it's London. And I would say I've been to the Hippodrome. I think that's okay, but would not make my number 10 list. But the £1 million buy-in I played in, I think it was 2018 or something like that, that was incredible. The venue, the location, the production, like TRITON has done such an incredible job. I was so intense. Unfortunately, I busted after 2 hours, so my poker experience wasn't that great in terms of success, but the holistic experience of being there and the way they've produced this and created this moment was incredible. So shout out to the TRITON team in that regard. That's been really, really awesome. Now, my number 4, a lot of people have been there, so it's not something super new, but I have to mention it, is Barcelona, especially for EPT. I have not been this year. People have said it's been crazy. A lot of people have been there and it's been a massive field, but I always liked EPT Barcelona, especially because everyone's there. It's very social. It's really good food in the city. You can do lots of things around. The casino is really close to the beach, so you get sun, you can go to the beach. Oftentimes all girlfriends come, so you have like a nice mix of, you bust out of a tournament, you have immediately something to do. There's great nightlife as well. So I always loved Barcelona as a stop, and I think with EPT you have great poker, soft fields, huge fields, and some of my best poker memories are playing poker in Barcelona as well. So that's why it made the list, and I love that spot. Now, number 3 is kind of a sad one because it's Aussie Millions. I hope they get their shit together. Right now, it's not gonna happen. We don't know, at least I don't know yet when it will happen again, but it's been one of my favorite stops. I always block this immediately for the next year. Great tournaments. Melbourne in January is just amazing. You're outside, especially coming from winter in Europe, like it's sunny. It's like a nice coffee culture, great food. We lived in a nice neighborhood. Poker room is nice. Like the games were incredible. The main event is big and soft. Like for me, all the things come together. I absolutely love this stop. It has been and would be one of my favorite poker trips. So if you can make it, that's one I highly recommend if it ever shows up again. Now, my number 2 is another Austrian one, and a pretty special one is Velden. I think one of the most secret, nice spots. I mean, in Austria, a lot of people know about it, but outside, not so many do. Cup Velden is, for me, one of the best tournament series in terms of lifestyle. You're right at the lake. If you organize early enough, you can get some incredible locations. And I remember we had a house at the lake. You drive by boat to the casino. The casino is right at the lake. You can get off at the casino, you walk into the casino, and you start playing poker. The casino is beautiful, like this beautiful, beautiful space right at the lake. It's sunny, it's right in summer. I mean, I don't even know where to start. They have a great high roller. They have a good main event. Like, it's not the perfect poker value, but in terms of poker trips, I always love to go there. Unfortunately, it's always right at my birthday, so I don't always go, but I think if you have nothing to do end of July, I think it's one of the best poker trips you can take. Great value, great lifestyle. Organize a nice spot early enough and you'll have a trip you'll remember. And now getting to my most favorite poker trip experience in my career, and it's been a very recent one, and I want to give a shout out to the TRITON team because it's been TRITON Poker Series Madrid. I've done a documentary on it. There's basically only one bad thing I can say about it, which is I had allergies in Madrid in spring for some reason. I had to sneeze all the time because it was blooming all around, but everything there was incredible. The venue, Casino Gran Via, was nice. The hotel was incredible. The walk was really nice. The sun and weather was perfect. The fields were great. The staff was incredible. Just everything there, I was just like, wow, this, if I can play poker like this definitely gets me out of the house more often to play more poker. Something that I emotionally connect with very well, because if I could dream of a poker setting, and I mean, obviously I play high rollers, so that's a bit different, but that's for me the best way you could run a poker event. I think they've done an incredible job there. And I think it's very important also to comment that and shout that out, because this is not a business you print millions with. It's like a lot of effort that goes into it, and especially the stream probably costs a fortune to produce at that quality. And I think that's something really, really awesome for players like me, that they create experiences like that. So that's been my best poker experience in terms of a trip. Then there's a few ones. I have some add-on list of locations that I've heard great things about and I always wanted to go, like Sochi, for example, Aruba. I always found a really interesting one. TRITON, there's a recurring event, I think, there. Edinburgh, Irish Poker Open. I've heard great things about this event. There's probably countless of locations. So guys, now I want to know what your favorite poker trip has been or what you're planning in the future. Leave it in the comments, because then maybe I have something new that I can go to and check out in the future. So if you share that, maybe then others can learn about it as well. If you want to try out one of my list, feel free to do so. That's what I made it for. So I'll see you at the next trip. Cheers. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to support the channel and stay always up to date, then leave a subscribe here or check out our next video.